I hate these light conditions. I know that a lot of photographers enjoy taking photographs with this partially overcast mode because it's elegant, because it's clear and you can take clean photographs. What I prefer is to have clear sky and harsh light and direct sunlight, because I love to find out the dialogue between lights and shadows in my photographs. But we're here and we love taking photographs, right? So today, what I would love to do is to take photos, even if the conditions are not my favorite ones. Let's see what happens. It was a very windy day. You'll hear that quite often. So sometimes there were clouds in the sky and sometimes there were not. It's going to get worse later on. I liked the lines created by the metal handrails, so I waited for someone to walk right through the center of the frame. I was actually lucky. Here you can see that the wind hasn't died down, quite the opposite in fact. However, the more time passed, the more I thought it might work in my favor. Perhaps it might lead to some interesting shots. I think this is one of my absolute favorite photos. I really hoped right up until the last minute that the little guy would stay and play with the Canon until the other people had gone. And I'm really glad that's how it turned out. Let's take a minute to thank the enhancer that allowed me to color grade this video. I use the enhancer to create that film feeling in my videos, and I have to say it's pretty straightforward since I'm not a video editor. With its drop-down menus and column-based options, it's incredibly intuitive and also gives you plenty of freedom to explore. There are a lot of film simulations for your videos. And you can add some really nice effects such as grain, halation or bloom, which could give your videos that extra boost. So why not take a look at the official website? After that, if you'd like to have a 10% discount on the purchase of a license, you can use my promo code DumbPictures10. Thanks so much to the answer for the opportunity, and let's get back to it. With the wind blowing like that, there were not actually so many people around, but I have to say that the people I come across often had something rather peculiar to offer me and my camera. I really like this shot too. I tried to play around with the layers of what I was seeing in the scene, aiming to keep a dark silhouette of the man in the foreground and the two people in the background, standing right there close to the huge wall lit up by the harsh light of the sun filtering through the clouds. I didn't have a lot of high hopes at first because, you know, the cloudy sky and the strong wind didn't seem like the best conditions for taking some photos on the streets, or at least for me. But as the time passed by, I actually realized that maybe there is always something interesting to be found, even with bad conditions. What's more, during this photo walk, I realized that I actually developed a sort of photo series in which I used the tiny human figures as a main element in the composition of these shots. I don't know why, but I think this actually turned out great, and I like it.